Now, in the custom data pass, I'm taking a TS file. I'm taking this selector. Go to your app component.html. Okay. Here I'm going to have I'm removing everything. Okay, take here custom data pass. Okay, and I'm removing this user. Listen carefully, I removed this user. Okay, Ranjit. Okay, now I'm creating a component here. Gserve open. In the parent component user, I created an object. Say yes or no. Name parent I removed. Okay. What data I'm passing ma? Say yes or no. What data I'm passing? Array of value. Am I right? Say yes or no. When you pass array of value, that value will be displayed in your app component.json. Okay. And then you remove this ng model and you remove this data label. Okay. Once you remove the data label, you see there is a data of object with the Naren.
Yes, sir.
But if I remove this JSON, when I'm declaring the variable without a pipe, you see how the object will be displayed. Is it a right way to depict the value?
No, sir.
I will explain what is pipes, but right now you see the data is not in a proper format. To bring the data in a proper format, you need to have a pipe concept called pipe JSON. Now, when you make pipe JSON, it became an exact data what you are passing. Okay. So the step number one in the div, you need to build parser data. What is the parser data? You have to create a variable like this. This is basically an array. Clear my point? An array of property. Okay. You created a property and then when you click on a button, you are changing into Vishnu. Now you see here, when you click me, it is changing into Vishnu. Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Everybody say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Ranjit, Venu.
Yes.
Now, I want to pass this data from parent to child component. How to pass the data from parent to child component? Can anyone tell me what is the logic I need to write here? What
Using
is the
input.
logic I need to write here? What is the first decorator you need?
Input.
First, I need to get an input. And then here, I say input function users colon of type any. Because you don't know what type of data it is, right? Am I right
Yes,
or
sir.
wrong?
Yes, sir.
So you are planning to do user of any. Any type can be accepted. Now what you need to do? Once you get the data in the HTML, you need to bind the data. How to bind the data? Div, class, row, And here paragraph tag, I simply say interpolation. What is my interpolation?
Users.
Take the users, have it here of any. Sorry, you make it as users. Now go and see the UI. When you click, no change happen because the data is null. Am I right? Right now, the object, whatever you are having is null. So how to pass the data from parent to child component to this variable? Can anyone tell me? How to pass the data from app component to child component? We write a logic. What is the logic we have to write here? What is the logic we have to write here? You have to say the property of your child
Users.
variable. What is your
Users.
variable of child?
Users.
Users. Users equal
Equals to
to what is the variable you declared in the parent? Same users.
users.
Okay. Now you have to paste the users. Now you see here, you got the data.
Yes, sir.
You got the data. Now you change it, Vishnu. You're receiving the data from parent to child component. Now let me go. A small decoration we can add saying that paragraph child component. I say H1. Better to have div class H2 text hyphen center. This is the best option. And remove the paragraph with the div. You got the child component. You have a parent component. You have a child component. Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
And then in the child component, whenever you pass data Narendra, it is coming. Whenever you are passing, but it is showing in an object. So what I need to do? What I need to do here?
Use pipe.
I need to use
Pipe.
JSON pipe.
JSON.
Got the data?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Click
Yes, sir.
me. Vishnu is coming. Now, whenever you are passing data from parent component, I need to track the data. How many times data is changing? So what is the concept we discussed day before yesterday? In the custom component, we implement ng on changes. Friday we implemented on changes, right? Hook.
Yes, sir. Hooks.
So how to implement the on changes hook here? On changes. Once you have on changes here, because on changes is an interface. On changes is a interface. You see here, it is saying it is an interface or not. Says or no?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So
Interface.
any hook will be treated as an interface. It will read the data from the incoming of that particular component. Okay, input to the component. So what you need to do here? Implements on changes. Once you've done that, you will get an error. What is the error? What is the error?
Missing type. That
Read the
custom
error
data.
properly.
Property on changes is missing in type, custom data pass component, but required in on changes.
On changes is an interface which contain ng on changes method to implement in custom data pass component, right?
Yes, sir.
So what you need to do? You need to implement this. So how you will implement here? Ng, got it? Now what you basically do? Console dot log changes. Clear?
Clear.
Now right click, inspect, console, refresh. You see, you got a simple change. Say
Yes,
yes or
sir.
no.
Yes.
The current value of what? JSON object. You got the current value of JSON object. First change equal to true, object equal to false. When you click, it should have a first change equal to false and then data equal to true, right? Value need to be changed, right? It will not happen. Why? Because ng change can only detect the data type value. Ng changes, ng on changes will detect only the data type value. Sir, then how do you handle that change, sir? Ishwar, can you tell me how do you handle that changes? We discussed. Ishwar,
We discussed, sir, but I'm not remembering
come again?
something confusion. Now.
You understand this concept?
I am already understand.
Okay. To handle this concept, you need to go a concept called DoCheck. Instead of using ng on changes, you have to implement a concept called DoCheck. Do you all understand what is DoCheck now? Here, instead of ng on changes, you simply use here do check. Here, instead of on changes event, you can also have do check. Clear my point? Now you see there is an error. There is an error. What is the error?
Property ng do check is missing in type
Property
component.
into do check is missing. Now you go here, you say ng do check. It's a method. Here you need to declare a variable called previous name. Previous name equal to name of string equal to null. Clear my point? You need to write a condition here saying that if users dot user not equal to previous name. Okay, I say previous name equal to this dot users dot user. First, you need to declare the variable and then console dot log. You say this dot user dot user. Clear my point? You understand my point? What I am doing? Say yes or no. And then if you go here, you refresh the project, console, clear, refresh. You got the do check Narendra? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Simply I will do one thing. Do check value is now do check value is Narendra. When you click me, you see do check value is Vishnu. Understand my point? You are able to detect the change with the help of do check. Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
This is how you need to build the object when you pass data from parent to child. With the help of do check, you can hold the data. You write the logic. For example, you go here in your parent component, don't change, keep the name Narendra as it is. Now, what is the first value of Narendra? Now I'm clicking the button. No change happened. Are you making any change here? Will the
No,
do check is changed? Say yes or no.
no, sir.
Based on the condition you written in the component saying that if the users dot user and previous name are not equal, then only I'm going to assign that user to my previous name. Or you got my point? If the Narendra I'm already having in previous name, the same Narendra I'm passing here, will this part will execute? Ravi,
Yes, sir,
And
maybe.
it will
Based on
not
username.
execute, right?
Yeah.
So that is the idea behind having the do check. Clear my point? Ravi, you
Clear,
got the
sir.
point?
Yes, sir.
Ishwar, Ranjit, very simple.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
you tell me you required on changes? Not required. You required simple changes? Not required. Because there is no use. Remove the on changes here. If you remove the on changes, ng on changes also not required. With the help of simple do check, I can do that. You see here. You got do check value is Narendra. Click Narendra, it will not happen. Go back to the code. Go back to your app component.ts. Say that Upparaju. Now see, it will get updated. Click me. Changes happen. Value is directed or not? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
This is called do check event. So you understand, right? When to go for on changes, when to go for do check. If anybody asking what is the difference between ng on change and do check, what is your answer?
Uh, After submitting, it will be do check. Do check
No.
means when
When we are
comparison.
passing data, listen carefully. When we are passing data from parent component to child component, both ng on change and do check will be executed. Clear my point? Point number one, when we pass data from parent component to child component, we are using ng changes or do check.
Do check.
Clear my point? Here, ng changes can hold a variable of any type. Sorry, ng changes can hold a variable of particular data type. For example, if you want to pass data of number, if you pass data of a string, you pass data of a date time, ng on change will be automatically detected with the help of simple change variable. Clear my point? Because ng change internally has an interface property called simple changes. Internally has a property called simple changes. What are all the properties we are holding in that? Value, whether it is first value or previous value, and then detected value. Am I right or wrong? Say yes or no. Say yes or no.
Uh,
Hello.
Can you please repeat this one, sir?
See, here on changes, on changes, comma. Here what are all the properties you are holding, ma, here?
Three properties. Current value, first change, and previous change.
Current value, First
Narendra
change,
and the
previous
previous
value.
value.
When you click me, will the first change equal to true or false?
True.
Now refresh. What is the first change? True, right?
Yes, yes.
Whenever click, if the changes of data is happened here, first name will become false. Only when a particular data type, if you pass object of data, this ng change will not work. To handle this situation, you have to go for what? DoCheck. DoCheck will handle the value based on the data type. Clear my point?
Yes, sir.
Ishwar, Ranjit, Ravi,
Yes, sir.
fine. This is the topic today we are discussed. What tomorrow I'm planning to do is I'm going to discuss about ng content. And I'm going to inject the content from the parent component to child component to track the content and load it in my child component. Clear my point? Till now, we discussed passing data from parent component to child component. For that, these life cycles are implemented. Okay. Tomorrow, we are going to pass the entire data content. Content means what? What is content projection? What is meant by content projection? We already discussed. What is meant by content projection? Anyone can tell? Anyone can tell me what is meant by content projection? Hello? When are you going to
No
use a
idea.
content projection? If you guys are not learning, it's very difficult. One thing I will tell you. Whenever you are passing some HTML data, HTML content along with the data, that HTML content data will be called it as a content projection. To project the content, we are using ng content or ng template. Am I right or wrong?
Means passing the data from
Come again.
parent to child.
Passing data from parent to child input decorator.
From HTML to TS file, right?
No, that is different. I'm talking about you have a parent component, you have a child component. You
Okay.
define parent component data, and that data you need to project in the child component. For that, you can go for content projection. I will explain that later point of time. There is a concept called view child, view attribute child. All those things will comes into picture.
Okay,
You'll
sir.
get clarity. Don't worry about it. Okay. Anything else, Venu?
No, sir.
Ranjit? Ravi?
No, sir.
All clear, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Tomorrow tomorrow and after tomorrow we can plan for other 4 topics in hooks, ng hooks. Okay, hooks concept, so that hooks will be completed by tomorrow.
Okay.
Monday, Saturday also I can take class. Monday and Saturday we can work on the pipes concept, and then we can go for few decorators, and then we can go for routing mechanism. Clear my point?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.